Hello everyone, happy 2025. Even though that this is our second podcast for this year, since the first one haven't come up yet, uh, so there is still chances that this one gonna come out first, right, Papa?
No, I'm gonna get that anime of the year 2024 episode up soon
All right,
with an
that's good.
asterisk.
That's good to hear. This is the two-person podcast at Onways with Whooper and Mario.
Hello,
Uh,
hello.
Yep, we're gonna do the anime season, and as a tradition, this is the start of the new season, winter 2025. So we just
hmm
gonna pick the 10 shows and just go through them and ranking them at the end, and basically pick the three shows that we're gonna, keep up and review at the end of the season.
Well, that has been our practice in the past, but I kind of feel as though this season, of all the years that we've been doing this,
Mm-hmm.
and we're entering into our eighth year. We're
Oh
at the start of our
boy,
eighth year, something
yep.
like that. This,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I can. I can't think of three shows in this group of 10 that
Mm,
I want to continue watching.
yeah. If you haven't, heard it or listened to it before, Whooper is some way the more critical guys out of the two of us. I'm more easy going guys. I think I
I,
I have like half of five shows out of 10 that I'm willing to watch more.
okay, that's good. Um, and it's true for any new listeners. Mario is correct in his assessment that I'm generally I take a harsher perspective whenever we go through all these new shows. But I really do feel like just looking at before we started recording, I was looking at a spreadsheet that I keep of all the shows that we've previewed in past seasons.
Mhm.
We've done 30 plus of no 25 plus of these sort of first impressions roundups in the past. I can't think of another season. I mean, it's only one of these shows out of the 10. And I mean, we arrive at this list of 10. Mario and I each pick our personal, the ones that we're most looking forward to or that we think have the best chance of being good or we're most interested in, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so this is a list. This list of 10 shows represents what we think are probably going to be the best prospects. Only
Mhm.
one of these shows am I even remotely interested in watching more of. I think that's probably an all-time low for me.
All right. That's not good to
I
hear.
really think that the good stuff is going to start coming out in spring. I feel
Yeah.
like this. I don't know. Japan was just
Oh,
hungover
oh
when
boy,
they
is that the
when they started
season?
pumping these shows out. These winter shows.
Yeah, that's them a bunch of sequel as well, and which actually it is like one of the very first season that I haven't been follow or watching any sequels.
Yeah, it's actually the same for me. None of the sequels that are airing right now, I'm going to be watching. There's Apothecary Diaries, Doctor Stone, Solo Leveling. Um, what else?
Blue Blue Exorcist,
Yes, that's
and
right. Oh, My Happy Marriage.
yep, yep.
Um, and there's
Oh,
of course there are going to be more.
Hana Cocoon. I think I actually finished the first season, but I'm not keen to really watch more of that.
What is Hanako-kun? I don't
The
remember.
toilet about
Oh,
Hana Cocoon.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shibaku Shonen Hana
Right,
Cocoon.
right, right, right. I never really got into that. I mean, it kind of has a cool visual look to it, the character designs and
Yep.
the bold lines and everything. But yeah, I made it like 3 episodes or something
Yep.
before I dropped it. So yeah, no sequels for us. There's a continuation of Orb on the Movements of the Earth that I'm interested in.
Yep.
Um, but that's about it. In addition to one of these 10 shows that we're about to discuss. Of
Mm.
course, Mario, he's got about half of them. So we'll see how our rankings 1 to 10 end up shaking out here.
Yeah, and as tradition, we actually just watch and review them alphabetically. So we
Right.
start from the top to the bottom. alphabetically. So the first one out the list is the and we normally go for Japanese title, but it's not the strict rules.
Okay.
So the first one here that I got here is Akuyaku Reijou Tensei Oji-san, from
Right.
bureaucrat to villainous. That's being reincarnated, so it's an isekai show.
Yeah. Isekai Otome show.
Yeah,
The best of
yeah,
both worlds, or the worst, as the case may be.
yeah. I just have a really quick thought while what you did is I just wonder if it was me or you who put this show in because uh isekai is not your domain.
I think it. I mean, I know I put it on my list. I don't know if
All
you
right,
did.
I don't even remember. So I think you were the one who put it here. I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, isekai series, and I mean, I used to be somebody who didn't even like using that word.
All right.
I would just say
Mm-hmm.
like reincarnation, or I would say fantasy, or I would say, I don't know,
Yeah.
otherworldly summoning or something. Um, but yeah, I mean, there are 9 isekai series, not including sequels, airing this season. There are just more and more of them all the time. I mean, if we're gonna continue to talk about modern anime, I just can't ignore them forever.
Yeah.
uh, and I thought the premise of this one was kind of interesting because it's like a 50-year-old salaryman
Yeah.
who gets reincarnated in the world of his daughter's favorite Otome game. So
Yeah.
perhaps he'll have vague knowledge of how the game operates, and he'll be able to use that to his advantage somehow.
Yeah.
It's nice that the guy who's getting reincarnated here is not like a teenage video game shut-in
Mm-hmm.
type of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's an
Well,
adult, and not just an adult. He's a successful adult. You know, he was a family man. He held a job for 30 years.
yeah. I must
That's
say that
nice.
there is a small subgenre of someone die who become a villainous, and I think at this point it also get a bit tired, you know, just the way that they have that one twist and they didn't really do anything with that. This one has a nice ring to it because like the guy who he actually, like you said, okay, the old guy who mature, who have like a career in the past life, but it's also start with like he being get hit by the car. Like how many times have
Yeah.
we watched that already?
At this point, I think it's wrapped back around to just being.
Uh,
I don't know. It's not as though it's tiresome or unoriginal. It's such a staple that you expect it to happen that way,
yeah.
and it feels kind of wrong if there's no truck involved.
Yeah. And all the guys in that Otome game, like all the time that you see me for as well, like the blonde hair, it's color code as well. The blonde hair is normally like the guy who engage with the main characters or with the villainess, who have a crush with the main characters in the game, and then the red hair guy gonna be the hot headed guy. It just like speaking of that word, it's nothing original for me.
Um, yeah, pretty much. What's
Yeah.
original, I suppose, is the mismatch between the person who's been reincarnated here and the
Yep.
teenage
Mm-hmm.
uh, quote unquote villainous whose body he now inhabits.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, there
Yep.
was there was one scene in here I thought was pretty charming because of
Yep.
course they're at a magical academy,
Yep.
as many of these sorts of stories, it happens that way for many of them. Um, and he's sitting in a lecture, and it's him and a whole bunch of other. Well, I should we say him or her? I guess him.
All right. I think to differentiate between these villains and like the main heroine who actually the pink hair girl. You
Right.
can you can tell him, you know.
Okay. Him. I mean, mentally, he's a man, perhaps. Um,
Yeah.
but he's sitting anyway. He's sitting in this lecture, and he's got this new younger body, and he's like very pleased with how easily he can turn the pages of his textbook, and how his
Yep.
vision can quickly switch between near and far sightedness. He can look
Yeah.
down at his book and then look back up at the professor at the lectern, and he doesn't struggle the same way that he would in his ordinary 52-year-old body. So
Yeah.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
And he just generally has like good social awareness, and uh, his there's the show even phrases it as though his good manners within the context of Japanese society are somehow automatically transformed into good etiquette in this world without
Mm.
his like conscious effort. That's a little
Yeah.
more like video game ish, and
Mm.
I think it would be funnier. I mean, this is a comedy. I think it would be funnier if he had to jump through the hoops of learning how the etiquette in this world works, and if he ended up putting his foot in his mouth some of the time and he had to figure it out. Him having a video game skill in his quote unquote character is less entertaining. But I mean,
Yeah.
overall, I think the premise works more or less.
Yeah. All right. I think what I enjoy the most out of this is the what I think what he call is the elegant cheat, because every
That's what I was referring to. Yeah.
all right. Yeah. Yeah. That that's really really nice because like all the intention he tried to make this girl gonna make it look elegant, and it's kind of funny, but yeah, this is the show that you know no, I'm not gonna watch any more of that.
You don't sympathize with the main character at
Not
all?
really. No,
I'll tell
like
you, there was one
yep,
scene where I really did sympathize with him, which was
right,
a couple of the scenes in here are flashbacks to when he was still alive, and he's talking to his daughter, who, like
yep,
him, has glasses and is depicted as kind of a nerd, and she's sitting on the couch in their home and playing an otome game,
yep,
and the some comment I don't know whether the dad or the daughter makes some comment about the lead uh, the, the antagonist, the villainess in this game, having ringlets in her hair, really curly hair.
yep.
And the
Ah,
dad says, "Ah, yes, this is a classic. This is a staple
yep,
of like shoujo stories, like Glass Mask and Aim for the
yep,
Ace and Candy
yep,
Candy." And as he's
yep,
making all these references, of course, the show is like changing their names ever so slightly or bleeping them out.
yep,
But you see the silhouettes of the antagonists from those series, and the
yep,
daughter the daughter responds by saying, "Yeah, that's cool, Dad, but I'm not old enough to get any of those references."
yep. And we suddenly feel all right.
Yeah, because the two of us have seen at least part of all three of those series,
Yep, yep,
um, and most of the people watching this anime, Akuyaku, Reijou, Tensei, Oji-san, are young enough that they have not seen any of those series in part or in whole.
yep,
So yeah,
yep.
it makes me feel like an anime grandpa.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think that what what worked great about this guy as well is he on yeah, like you said, he has the knowledge of the anime, so he also a nerd, but he also very functioning. So
Yeah.
he kind of between both worlds, so to speak, and he get on with this world really well as well, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to mind too much. He doesn't spend too much of the episode in some sort of existential crisis. He
Oh,
figures out
yeah,
what's going on. He recognizes perhaps the setting or some of the characters from this game that his daughter used to play, and he's like, "Okay, this is my reality now. Let's figure out how I ought to go about living my new life."
yeah. Well, um,
I
all
can't
right, yeah.
imagine you ranked it very highly if you're saying I'm not going to watch any more of this. You're making like a declaration about it.
No, I still have a good time watching it. It just some of these one of these show that I'm not really keen on watching more of that because I think what great about that is in the first episode where where we have this guy who try to figure out uh, and the mismatch between them when he get into the system when he get to know everyone. I think the appeal gonna be less appealing. So
Yeah, as he has to fit himself more and more into this fantasy world, and it
yeah,
becomes like more about the girl whose body he's in and less about
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I can see it going that way for sure.
All right, so I put that 7 out of 10.
All right, for me, number five.
Hmm. Not that much different between us.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the next one then. The next one is Ameku Takao no Surikate or Ameku MD. I'm not sure what MD is. Ameku Takao Detective Kate.
I think MD means medical doctor,
Oh, I see. I see.
as opposed to other doctors, like people who have doctorate degrees.
Hmm.
But I
Medical
could be wrong.
doctor. Do you have GP in America?
General practitioner. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yep. I I thought MD is kind of like stand for GP, but that might be wrong as well.
I am definitely not medically knowledgeable. I go to the doctor as infrequently as possible. I haven't
All
been for a
right.
checkup in a long time. I should
Yep.
probably uh, do that.
Yep.
Or I
Me
could just
too.
watch this anime and get all the medical knowledge I could ever need. For example,
uh,
about how people's legs might be bitten off by um, dinosaurs.
yeah. With the blood as well,
Oh
somewhere.
yes, yeah. How did the blood get blue? Was that part of the dinosaur experience, or I
Hmm.
guess we'll figure
That.
that out in the next episode if we watch any more of this, because
Yeah.
it does end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think before that happened? What do you think about like on the techno bubble that they going through for the patients? Like they have a checkup on the two patient and she immediately can tell the condition of the two patients.
Yeah, I think that's par for the course for doctor shows. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially if there's a genius character, because what you have to do is have all the low level flunky idiots saying, "Oh, it's not this disease, and it's not this disease, and it's not lupus, and it's not tachycardio encephalitis or whatever." And then the genius comes in and says, they take one look at the patient and one look at their chart and one look into their like backpack or
Surroundings.
the
Yeah.
purse of their mother, and
Yeah.
then they're like, ah, yes, I know what it is. So you have to set it up with all the medical jargon so that the brilliance of the protagonist is evident by contrast.
Yeah. I think I can understand that. All right. The next
That doesn't
question.
mean it's really entertaining. I think that's just like kind of a common pattern in these sorts of shows.
Yeah. The next question then. How do you like these main characters? The titular uh, Doctor Detective Tako Ameku.
I I didn't really like any of the characters in this show or the show in general.
Yeah.
I thought it was very plain looking. I mean, honestly, it looked kind of ugly in some
Hmm.
spots. I thought the soundtrack was particularly inept. It
Yeah.
opens up with like a weird jazz song, like a jazz lounge kind of song with a groovy bass line and like the drums kind of going nuts. Like the drum fills were very elaborate, and all that was on screen while this was happening. I mean, jazz is sort of the style of music you would associate with a lot of free form free flowing, I should say, movement. But all that's happening on screen as this music is playing is they're like barely moving images of doctors looking at I don't know, like a heart monitor and a clipboard and trying to figure out what illness a patient has. And then
Yeah.
to address your question more directly, when the genius doctor finally gets there, she's just, I mean, everybody else is so dumb that she doesn't even feel real.
Yeah.
She's just like a cheat code walking around in this hospital full of incompetent medical professionals.
Yeah. Well, she never feel real to me at all. Like I'm not saying that any of the characters here feel real, but she feel extraordinary unreal in the sense that she's she talented, but her curiosity make her like less sympathetic. Like one of the patient who later get beat up by supposedly a dinosaur and die, and her first reaction is like how curious, she's
Right.
it just feels so wrong in and she is a doctor as well, you know so nah, so she not gonna win me any point, and given that she also the main characters of the show, I actually kind of a bit interested to find out what the deal is, because I don't think there is any supernatural thing going on in the show based on like the first episode that we watched. But yeah, I could be wrong.
I mean, there's doctors and there's cops. I don't think there's any magic here. Like, there's going to be a medical explanation for it, and I'm sure it'll sound far fetched, but perhaps there will be some basis in,
Yeah,
in human
and
physiology for
it
whatever
actually,
happens.
yeah, kind of remind me of like one of these other show. You remember the Vatican show, the show where they have the priest who, let me have a look. The
Like the Vatican
Vatican,
Examiner show, something
yeah,
like that.
Miracle Examiner. Yep, yep, yep. That show,
Okay.
it
I never watched it, but I remember it.
all right. That show, it takes some of the mystery and just go bunker with that, in the sense that they have I think there's like one case that involves like the offspring or something of Hitler in that show. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
That's
that
kind of
sounds like a fun episode to watch.
that's kind of craziness. So I'm not sure it this show gonna be go through that route, like go with something very crazy. If that is the case, I'm actually kind of interested to watch. But if it just some of like run of the mill far fetched plot that gonna uh s- be there to show the misery, then I'm not that interested to find out.
Well, that's probably what it will be, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I
And based
agree.
on the fact that we got a cliffhanger at the end of the first episode, I think if I had to guess, I would say that the series format is probably going to be 2 episode arcs, like 6 of
Mm,
them, maybe for a 12 episode series, with a
yeah.
cliffhanger
Mm,
at the end of about half of them, something like
yeah.
that.
Mm, I if I have to guess, I think it's more than 2 episodes. I think it's like 3 or 4. But yeah, the shorter the better actually.
Well, I think when you say 3 or 4, you might be underestimating the intelligence of you know, the main character. I think she's gonna get all the details and figure it out super fast, and then there'll be like a Detective Conan type
Yeah,
reveal the killer scene.
yeah,
Only she'll reveal the disease instead.
yeah,
And all the cops, there were a couple detective characters in this episode. They'll probably be present in each of those explainer scenes. And, the zero personality study partner that she has, as well as the new girl with the cheery personality who tags along with them. I just see the show becoming repetitive very quickly.
yes. She see whose house just in the roof of a hospital. So she
Yeah.
basically has no life.
What do you mean? She has a piano in her house. There you
Oh
go.
wow.
She likes music and stuff.
Yep. And see, I think before the mystery, she about to uh get this guy, his her under ruling to watch a movie or something.
I cannot. Oh no, she wanted to study with him.
Oh,
It wasn't watch a movie.
studying.
She kept bugging him to let's have like a study session. Let's study. I don't know
All right.
why or for what reason or
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Good to know.
Is it? Is
Yep.
that good to
It
know?
is. No. I put it 9 out of 10.
All right. Wow, as low as 9. Interesting. Okay, for me, 7.
All right. Uh-huh. All right. Next one gonna be the vampire. So Baban, Baban, vampire.
Right. Um, yeah, this is
All
a
right.
weird one for
Yeah.
sure.
Tell me first the reason why that you put that on the list, because I think it's kind of like a genuine point of interest that make me want to watch it as well.
You mean like the reason I just
Yeah.
included on my like list of 10 shows. I thought perhaps you were talking about Star-Crossed, the season preview, where I also listed it. I just think that the premise is weird.
Right.
He's a vampire who works at a public bathhouse. He cleans it up at night when no one is coming in, so it works because he's nocturnal. It fits his
Yeah.
schedule. And his motive for doing this is that the son of the bathhouse owner he has taken a quite a liking to, and he wants to protect his virginity until he turns 18, so he can drink his pure, unsullied blood.
Dang.
I just think that that's a really stupid premise that in the right hands could be kind of funny in an extremely perverse way.
Yeah.
I'm not against like dirty comedies or I don't know, inappropriate humor, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Well,
could be funny, could turn out well. That was my train of thought.
all right. I was thinking of the other reason, which is this is from Ghana, which is the studio from like from the Great Gainax. So I think they branch out to
Yeah, but there are
become
multiple
Gainax.
degrees of separation between them
Right.
because
Mm,
Gaina used to be Fukushima Gainax,
yeah.
and Fukushima Gainax was the studio that split off from Gainax. But at the time that they did that, Gainax was already well past its prime. There's just not very much common DNA
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Still, the name Gainax is like so unlocks so many strong memories for me that when I see anything similar to it, I go, oh, well, maybe
Yeah.
it'll be good.
Yeah.
But that wasn't that wasn't the reason that I wanted to watch it or I thought it might be decent. I just thought the premise was very silly, and I
Yeah.
liked I liked the poster for it. Him, the vampire standing in the middle of the bathhouse holding the little like scrub broom that he has. He's got kind of the stringy hair, the pale skin, the scene of Mount
Mm,
Fuji on the wall behind him, like you see in some bathhouses in anime.
yeah.
There's usually like a mural or something with a very scenic looking vista.
Yeah.
Uh, I thought the promotional material was pretty cool. As
I
for the
see.
show itself,
Yeah.
I I didn't think it was too bad.
All right. I'm not too keen with the premise like you because I see a degree of like creepy seeking, but I think that are pretty much intentional. Uh, is it basically about a guy, the other guy who grooming a boy until he reached the age of consent age in order to
Yes,
suck his blood, right?
right,
In more ways
exactly.
than one. So it just kind of, like go off into a really weird uh territory to me. And even though that And I'm not really that sold on on that premise either. But even like we have at the end where there is a misunderstanding between him and the young girls, and I think that the show still have like something uh, somewhat twist to come. So I'm kind of interested to find out what that is. But there seems to be a mismatch between his intention, her uh she obviously doesn't have a crush on the main guy, which for whatever purpose in the story, I don't know.
My guess, well, I don't know if I have a guess at this point,
Yeah,
but one possibility is that, yep, the reason that he goes to this girl's house and like hangs upside down outside her window and interrogates her is because he thinks this boy that he whose virginity he is protecting is just like so irresistible and so charming. Anyone who meets him will fall in love with him. So he assumes right away this girl is in love with him. I think
yep,
the joke might be that no, like this 15-year-old kid that he really likes is really not that attractive to people. He's not that
yep,
uh, he's not all
yep,
that, so to say.
yep,
And so the vampire is constantly going to be overestimating the lengths that he needs to go to protect
yep,
the guy's virginity. I think
yep.
that's one possible angle.
Or maybe he just feel he just doesn't understand why this glorious boy doesn't really take effect to that girl, so he tried to like make them into the couple without she taking his virginity. Is it like
Oh,
the
okay.
other
You
angle?
think that he might want to set them up as a couple because
Yeah,
he knows that they won't do anything together and it'll keep other
yeah,
girls away?
yeah. That that is well, yeah.
That's an interesting idea. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, it's kind of silly
I
though.
think the show is like it's just very like goofy and stupid. And I kind
Yeah.
of kind of like how goofy and stupid it is. Like
Mhm.
the for example the detail that the central character, the vampire Ranmaru, had a love
Yeah.
affair with Oda Nobunaga in the 16th century. There's a
Yep.
flashback to that. In the
Yep.
manga, I read the first chapter of the manga when I previewed it. There's even not it's not just Nobunaga. There's also references to him like having an affair with Kurt Cobain from Nirvana, and it's implied that like you know how there's some speculation about who killed Kurt Cobain.
Yep.
Even to this day, people think that perhaps it wasn't a suicide, and that like Courtney Love, his girlfriend at the
Yep.
time, may have killed him or set him up or something like
Yep.
that. There's all those
Yep.
theories. Well, Baban Vampire says nope, it was actually a vampire who killed him, and they were lovers.
Okay. That's interesting.
I don't know if we'll get that flashback in the future. And there's also
Uh
there's like a Michael Jackson inspired dance that he does when he's alone
yep.
in the
I love
bath near the start of
I
the
love that
episode. That
move
was fun.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you just see him doing the weird thing and we don't know who this guy is or like what he does, but it's just so off that it actually very funny.
Yeah, it's just it's a very strange show. Kind of interested in it for that reason. I'd say that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I don't think the production is that gorgeous though. I think it's looking a bit, like the CG stand out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly good looking either. And
Mm,
in fact, I expect that it will collapse.
right.
Um, but I don't know. If I watch any more of this, I would be prepared for that. Like I would
Yeah.
assume that going in.
Yeah. All right. Uh, so what do you rank?
Number four.
Bye. All right. Number eight for me.
All right, so we've already knocked your 789 out
Yep.
right away. So the
Yep.
question now is everything else is either close in the top half or close to it, or dead last.
Yep. All right. Let's find out then. The next one is Douse Koishite Shimaunda. So anyway, I'm falling in love with you.
Yeah, speaking of dead last,
Right.
this show
Is it
is
gonna be the
it.
one? Really? Wow. Right.
This I thought this was trash.
All right. Uh,
What is the point of the setting where like COVID is happening in
I
this
have no
show?
idea. I have no idea. I think it's just weird because like the feeling of the show is very old-fashioned. It's like one of the 80s, 90s show that we watch, but the setting itself is like in 2020, so it's like brand new. And this is the flashback from a older girl, or we're not sure like who is like who is the woman that we see in the beginning, or is she like the author of the story that we watching, or is she like the older version of this young girl who have her childhood in 2020s? So like that makes like the beginning scenes in the future. It's just so weird,
What I don't
but
are
it
you
doesn't really stick. Yeah.
I
Yep,
don't
go
think
on.
there's any ambiguity to it. I think
Yeah.
the woman who we're introduced to, and it's really weird the way that the episode opens up. It opens up very slowly. Like
Yep.
there's several, or I guess there's just one like long panning shot down a
Yep.
city street, and then a couple
Yep.
stills at like an intersection where people might be crossing, and then eventually we meet this older woman. I think it's pretty
Yep.
clear that she is just an older version of the main female character from the show.
Right.
And now that we've met the main female character from the show and have started the quote unquote flashback, which
Yep.
will take up the rest of the series. I don't know what the point was of
I
those
say, but
initial scenes.
yeah, yeah, true. And the flashback is apparently set in 2020, the year of COVID.
Is it?
They
I didn't see what year it was set in. I just heard, the characters talking about an infectious disease or whatever. It was very
Yep, yep, yep.
vague.
I I'm pretty
But
sure that
nobody's
they
masked
did.
up. Everyone's still going to school. It's just like
Yeah,
one swim competition that the childhood friends crush.
yep. I'm pretty
Uh,
sure that it's 2020. They say at some point in the series, or even mentioned about that more than once.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, we're dealing with COVID here, except it isn't. Because
Yeah, because
as I said, no masks. We're still going to school.
yeah, yeah.
What's the point?
The ongoing disease. The point is, we have this girl at the center of the four hot boys in the remote island where like they become all hot boys. It's basically just a rehearse of like all the social scene that movie shows that we seen before. Like I have a flashback of Boys Over Flower, like four hot boys. I have a
Yeah, I'm sure
flashback
that was an
of
inspiration.
Orange with like the main girl who is kind of having the same name as well. Even like this name is kind of like a typical social protagonist name.
Orange was so much better looking than this show, though. At least at first.
Yeah. Oh wow! I actually think that this show look gorgeous and the content just doesn't really match up.
Oh my god, I completely disagree.
All right, all right.
This
Just
dude,
look
do you
at
remember the
my.
scene where she and her four gorgeous
Yep.
hunky childhood friends get on
Yep.
the train to go to school,
Yep.
and they're the only ones who are, like have been filled in with a digital paint bucket in a normal human way, and everyone else is like grayed out or browned out with polka dots.
Oh, yep. 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 What is
It
that?
just looks so hideous, and the show goes back to that style multiple times throughout the
Yep.
episode. There's a scene in a cafeteria where I don't know, she's sitting at a table and something
Yep.
happens. Like some guy talks to her, and everyone's like, "What? She and this guy are talking to each other?" And it's just a bunch of people with no eyes, mouths agape, no color, just gray or brown polka dots, making them Like what? And also in the exterior shots, when you see the ocean, because they're apparently this town is like a seaside town,
Yeah.
because the ocean's in the background. The ocean is such a disgusting, like violent shade of neon blue. Uh, it just makes me want
So
to throw up. It hurts. It hurt my eyes. I had to turn
sorry,
on my
Booper.
like blue light filter on my monitor just to stop it from searing my retinas.
Sorry, Booper. If you read the first episode overs, I had it in for a lot of uh, categories.
Okay.
Too bad. And what it weird about this story is like we have the four boys, so it we know that this is gonna be a relationship, a romance between her and these four boys, and then we have like a uh start with like a crush. She having a crush with like one of the senpai who is one of these four, and then
Right. He's some random fifth guy.
yeah, and then she got rejected
Right.
in a way that I I think all he say is that you mind your own business, and then
But he was just
get in
so
the
sad
bus.
about his swim meet being the only thing that was impacted by a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah, and then he get into the bus, and then she just stand there in the bus stop and just crying. This is it. I've get rejected. Crying. Oh boy.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that the reason for that was her ideal first love is no longer a possibility, so now she's going to be like, I don't know, vulnerable, and it's a perfect time for one of these guys to make their move and make
Yeah,
her theirs.
and make the move
Like perhaps
they
in the
did.
shower while the water is running at the
Oh
end of the
boy.
episode.
Yep, yep. A kiss again. Like it's very non-consensual. It just, oh my god, it just doesn't really bode well, especially
Yeah,
in today's
yeah.
context with like put the setting to 2020. We can actually sue this guy for harassment.
Well, I don't think she's interested in that. I think she loves having four cute childhood friends and walking to the bus with them every day so that they can get on and see all the polka dot people on their way to school. I think she
All right.
likes the status quo, and now he wants to be together with her. But you know what? I mean, the scene in the shower at the end, obviously, that was weird.
Yep.
But arguably worse than that, I think, is the scene where they're on this like the steps of, is it her house or one of the guys' houses where they're having this surprise party for her with the cake.
Yep.
Um, and it's him, the purple-haired guy, and her, and they're on the steps on the way back up to the room where they're celebrating, and one of them is holding the cake. Maybe it's her. And he is talking to her about like if he had one wish, it would be for her to be his girlfriend. And then this motherfucker blows out the candles on the cake. That's her cake. You can't blow out someone else's birthday candles, bitch.
No. Yep. 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 I remember that.
That's
And I
her
remember
wish
that
to
was very
make.
well. He feel like just a younger brother to her. So
He's got
he
a
he
he's got to show
entitled
that he's
to.
serious by ruining her birthday.
Oh boy. And then yeah, not only him, we will have like three others boys who I think will approach her at some stage in the future. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, and they all have like silly hair colors and really like trendy piercings.
Yep.
Um, and the OP is just the absolute worst J-pop boy band schlock that you could ever imagine. It was bad.
All right. But I'm surprised because I there, uh, there is other show that I think absolutely worse than this. So,
You
but
mean in terms of the OP?
no, in terms of the whole premise.
Oh, well, I mean,
But
if you've already done 7, 8, 9, and you think there's another show worse than this, that means you put this number 6, or God forbid, in the top half. Please reveal your score and do not disappoint me.
Yeah, it's 6 out of 10 to me.
Okay. You know where I put it.
Wow, wow, wow. It look gorgeous now, but you disagree with me on that as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next one then.
Okay.
Flower in Ashura.
Hanawasaku. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep,
I have Hanawasaku Shura no Gotoku. And I
yep.
think, I mean, one of the recitations, one of the poems that's quoted in this episode, I think it might be the one that she sees on TV at the start. Or maybe it's one that she says herself. I don't know. But
No, no. So
Shura,
that's the same one. Yep, the
the
one
word
that
Shura
she's.
is in there. Is that
Yep,
like some sort of deity in some religion or something?
maybe. But yeah. I just say that the one that she's seeing in the TV at the beginning and the one that she quote right at the end, I think is the simple.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, though, the girl that she's watching on TV at the start is probably some famous um, storyteller or orator,
Yep.
or what's the word that they use in this show?
I just think
Uh,
that she the voice actress and
oh, maybe. But it's
yeah,
like it's not it's like recitations that they keep talking about.
yep,
That they're going to recite poetry and stuff.
yep.
So yeah,
So
voice actor, something like that, broadcaster, whatever.
all right. So to put this into the context for those of you who haven't, like even heard about this show, this is from the same writer who wrote Cell Euphonium, and this is another manga or anime adaptation that deal with I think the outer fascination with sound. So instead of the band doing the music, is these girls or this high schooler who do the the recitation of the poems.
Right.
So
Yeah. Uh
yep,
yeah. I mean,
I
this was
read
one of the
the
only shows that I had any real expectations for.
all right, but
Mostly on the
all right,
basis of the euphonium connection.
yep, yep,
But I honestly I found this episode to be pretty simple, like
mm,
very standard high school club type
mm,
stuff, where there's
yep,
like a promising freshman who gets recruited by an upperclassman, and I mean that's about it in terms of what happens in this first episode. There's also the whole idea that the main girl, what was her name? Um,
Hana, flower,
oh, okay, that fits. Her
yeah,
name's in the title. She has a sleepover with the sophomore student, the second year student, Mizuki, and she's like,
mm,
I really don't like myself. I want to change who I am. Um, I don't know. It just seemed like her if those doubts about her like her current life and her current personality are legitimate, they shouldn't be washed away by
yep,
a single sleepover. That ought to be a longer process.
mm, all right. Um, I actually think that because we compare that with Cell Euphonium because of the same author. I actually also remember that like the first start of Cell Euphonium, it actually plot wise, it's actually pretty basic as well. It's just like Kumiko who like get into the high school and get asked by her friends, two of her classmates to join the band, and she didn't say no, but she didn't really keen about like joining the band as well, and that's it, I think.
Yeah, the difference though is that one of the shows is produced by Kyoto Animation, and the other
Yep,
one is not.
yep. Sure.
Not that the
Hmm.
show is bad looking or anything. I mean, it's okay. It's fine. And there's the scene where Hana goes down to the beach in the morning and
Yep.
like recites a poem in extremely dramatic fashion, and you can see that some of the language is visualized. You know, the metaphor kind of comes to life, and there's like vines that come up out of the ground, and wrap themselves around her limbs and kind of hold her down, and she has to break free.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
I imagine that future performances will employ similar techniques.
Yeah.
That'll be kind of built into the show's visual presentation. I
Yeah.
like that idea.
Yeah.
But I don't think it elevates the rest of the episode, really.
Hmm. I actually feel that have a really solid foundation so far because we see about this girl who who love to recite, but is very hesitate to join any club or making any real commitment out of pursuing her love. And the other girl is just alright, she try to get everything her way. We can leave her out, but the um, the subject matter itself, the the recital, or it's just part of the storytelling that I really want to get into, and I think it's a massive job to just read the things that we all hear and uh and feel about that, as Anne of the Green Couple can attest. Like one of the episodes, she do the same thing, and she make the audience cries. So
Right.
I'm into these subject matters, and the presentation so far about how they read, and all the visual presentation is actually pretty good. So yeah, I think we got a winner here in our hands so far for me.
Okay. What'd you rank it?
All right, I rank it second out of 10.
Okay. For me, number 6.
All right, I think this gonna be, yeah, this and anyway I fall in love with you so far are the ones that we disagree the most.
Oh, we got another one.
Oh, are we? The next
Yes.
one gonna be honey lemon soda.
I don't think this is the one where we disagree.
All right,
I assume you hated
is
this.
is it so? Let's find out.
Okay. Well,
This
I
show
guess
is
you're ignoring my question because you want me to be in suspense.
all right. All right, what did you ask? Sorry.
Oh, I said I assume you hated this.
Yeah. This is the one that I put it that last.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this show.
Yeah, it's not good.
everything, everything that you had about the other show, I hate about this show. It's just so typical of social, but not in a good way. They put, and I think the worst thing about that is like they put all the efforts in the to make it look great, and the the characters, like none of the main characters are likable. The all the drama, it just put it into it's just so strained. It's just so bad. There's no time at
Well,
all in
I
these
would I would
shows.
say there's a difference between honey lemon soda and Dulce, whatever the title is of
Yeah.
that other one. I mean, that one is like a reverse harem series. It's
Yeah.
you know it's going to be bad. You just the premise alone.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a good reverse harem show in history?
Maybe
I can't. The answer is
that's the
probably yes. I can't call it to mind.
yeah the 2006 shows. The oh, oh my god, the name escapes me.
2006 show.
Yeah. With the protagonist is named Harui as well, but it's not Harui shows.
Oh, are you talking about Aodan High School Host Club?
Yep. That one is the
Okay,
request
yes.
harem.
I
Yep.
suppose that would be the answer to the question, has there ever been a good reverse harem show?
Yep.
I'd say that show's more of a comedy than anything else, though. I haven't seen the whole
Fair enough.
thing. I've only seen
Yep.
like 12 episodes or something.
Yep.
Anyway, I mean,
Yep.
just generally, harem shows, reverse harem shows are not very good. They're made for one reason, by and large. We know what that reason
Mm.
is. And I
That
would say
is.
shoujo, more general shoujo in the vein of Honey Lemon Soda has a better track record. However,
Yep.
I mean, Honey Lemon Soda just stinks. They're, the main guy is like so aloof, so detached. Uh, his only the only thing we can gather about his personality is that he likes meddling in the life of this extremely timid girl. We don't know anything
Yeah.
else about him, other
Yep.
than he's decided to involve himself with her. For what reason? You can assume it's because he is interested in her, like whether it be, I don't know, romantically, or just because he wants to see her break out of her shell for whatever reason. But
Just
he's just
feels.
he's
Yeah.
too
Just
aloof.
feels
He's too
so
much of
good.
a mystery. He's too much of a
Yep.
jerk.
Yep.
And the main girl is like cripplingly shy, and there's just
Yep.
nothing going on here. Characters are
Oh.
just way too dull, and
Oh
it's
my
not
God. Like.
funny. It's not in a funny way. I don't know.
Yeah. Like in the span of the first episode, we actually see, like how she frees up to other people. That's alright. How how she met the s- the friends from the middle schools who start to bully her again. Like
I
it's
mean,
the
I wouldn't
same
say
group of
friends
friends.
from the middle school.
Yeah, well, it's the same group of friends who used to bully her, and now they bully her again just for the sake of it. Like they are actually in a different class, and like they just kind of randomly pick on her shoes, just throw it just for the heck of it,
Yeah.
just like harass her for the heck of it, and then
Yeah, they're
she,
very, very poorly written bullies, for sure.
yeah, and oh my god, and even her, the way that the way that he tried to help her by actually demand her to do his things, just say the word and
Right.
mumble her with the word, so it actually kind of another kind of controlling behavior. And
Yeah, he's very like patronizing, very condescending.
yeah, and the way that she actually triumphed to her into speak out by basically obeying what he says. So it's just no, it's just wrong. Everything is just wrong here. Oh God.
Yeah, I pretty much agree.
She just go from one kind of abuse to the other kind of abuse without knowing it, and she think that's it's a triumph. Oh
I
no.
don't think that he's abusing her. I just think
He
he is uh,
he
completely self-absorbed and
yeah. And
like he's not an empathetic person. He just is involved. He's meddling basically in her life.
yeah. And she's the one who, have like that hot boy savior who gonna save her life or something, to the point that she decided not to go to the British British school just to be in the school just to see her.
Yeah,
Sorry, just to see him, and
yeah,
oh my god, so
yeah.
bad.
And it's based on just a chance interaction that they have on the street one time.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
meets him. They exchange words, or barely even exchange words for like 30 seconds, and he says, "I think it would be cool if you went to this school. I mean, that's where I'm going."
Yeah. I
Cut to
remember.
her going to the same school as him.
No, no. Before that cut though, uh, when he walked away, a group of friends just come to her saying, "Is that your friend?" And he just say something like, "No, some random girl or something," just
Yeah,
kind of
but
like dismissing this girl completely.
I don't think so. I
All
don't
right,
think there was any malice in his voice when he said that. He was just like, "Nah, I don't know her, just some girl."
all right, all right.
I thought that was fine. I mean, I don't like the guy at all, but I don't think he's evil or anything. He's
All right.
just not very well written, and the same goes for his show.
Oh my god, this sounds so bad, and it doesn't look bad at all. It look kind of all right. So
Yeah,
like I
I think
I
the
would say,
production's
like,
fine. It's
yeah,
okay.
compared to like uh the rest of the season shows, it actually kind of like above average. And why like all the efforts just go into that shit of the storytelling here?
I
Oh
think
my
this
god.
was probably written by somebody who read a lot of shoujo manga and
Just
wanted
want
to write
to,
something similar, you know?
yeah, 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 yeah,
The
yeah,
fact that the girl is just like so taken with him, so fixated on her savior, and she at one point describes herself as like having a tingling sensation whenever he's around, and when he greets her in the morning and says like "Ohio" or whatever when he comes in the classroom, she freaks out about the fact that he actually said good morning to her. I mean, there's a little bit of cultural difference here. Perhaps I don't understand how
yeah,
significant that might be, but it does feel like she's overreacting. I think
yeah,
probably Japanese audiences would agree.
yeah.
She's going a little crazy. He's just saying hello.
Yep. And the way actually, now we know why the title is Honey Lemon Soda, because he always bring a a soft drink, honey lemon soda,
Yeah.
and he used that to attack people.
You better not mess with my friends, or you're gonna get a taste of my honey lemon soda.
Okay, 10 out of 10 for me. I
Yeah.
let's
For me, number
let's
8.
all right,
How about the next one?
all right.
Kono Kaisha ni Suki no Hito ga imasu.
I have a crusted world. So this is kind of like the opposite of honey lemon soda in a sense that I think the premise itself is something that I'm not really into. So it's about like two adults who secretly in a relationship, but try their best not to let all the other college in the workplace knows. So this is the kind of premise I was like, nah, whatever. But it's actually pretty cute, despite you know just all that. So you know,
So you're
cute
good with it?
is yeah, is the adjective that I use here. Pretty cute for the two adults having have to express themselves in secret, for, but they're
I don't
not
know.
too
I,
on it.
I felt like this was
I don't know.
kind of this is like a J drama,
All right, yeah,
and it's just an anime J drama. There's a secret relationship, and the whole idea is that it's like a salary man and an office lady, to use
yeah,
the I guess the conventional Japanese terms,
yeah.
who are gonna hook up and fix the birth rate crisis.
All right,
Stop
I
just
think
going
it,
home and watching anime, and instead get out there and meet some people and have some drinks after work and make some kids and ensure the
all right,
future for glorious Japan.
all right. I tell you what. The very first scene we see them, like asking each other out with a butt. And then I didn't really look into that girl because I think they hide her face, but they showed the hair colors, but I didn't notice them. So when like in the office where like there's a bunch of other office lady just talking about like this one secretly in love with that one and all that jazz, and he just standing there, and he there's like many girl approach him because he was sitting with one other girls, and then another girl approached him before this girl approached him. And I was at one point just wondering like which one that he actually in the relationship with, and it actually kind of fun too, because they all have like kind of like standoff ish chemistry in the workplace. So this is like the best thing that I've experienced in this show. Just kind of
Okay.
guess who he's gonna be together with, and then you know we got the review right immediately. And
I got to be honest, I don't remember anything about what you're talking about. I do
yeah,
remember that he has conversations with several female employees at the office, and that
yeah,
at that point you don't know who the girlfriend is. But
yeah,
as for your description of the first scene being the scene where you see somebody ask
yeah.
someone else out, that I don't remember at all.
Yes, I think that was for just like the first 10 seconds. They are in
Okay.
the, I would
So
say the bus stop.
you see the male character and he's asking someone out, but you can't see their face.
You see a male characters, but not his face. Like you see his face, but not his eyes, and you just see like the lower part of his face. Just saying that,
Okay.
do you want to go out with me? But and then you see like the girl without like any facial expression, but with the red hair colors, and it cut to the next day in the office.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I will probably watch this 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. I don't remember that at all. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Well,
But I mean, if she has red hair, isn't that kind of a giveaway?
yeah, that and I was like that was kind of like a missed opportunity as well, for because I could picture him with like what like the class girl, for example, like he was sitting with that class girl where she also mentioned something about you know yeah about something to him, and he had like that kind of like awkwardness as well. Hmm.
Well, I mean, whoever that woman is probably going to be like a romantic rival
Rivals.
or
Yeah,
something like that. I mean, in this
yeah,
sort of show, there's always going to be one of those. Even if it doesn't get super dramatic about it, there's probably somebody else at work who,
yeah.
you know,
We
will be
actually only
interested in the main character, and there will be another
yeah,
man at work who's interested in the female character, which I think we
yeah,
actually see in this
yep.
episode.
We actually see him. He's the senpai who I think
Right,
he now working in another department or another company altogether. But he
right,
used to be her supervisor, and they used to go to the same school uni as well. So
right. Yeah, and there will probably be an episode where the main character is like insecure about her relationship with her senpai, and
yeah, yeah,
there'll be an
yeah,
episode where the senpai is like, "I should have asked you out in college when I had the chance.
yeah, yeah,
Dump your
yeah,
boyfriend and go out with me. My salary is higher."
yeah. Uh,
I cannot see this show like surprising or exciting me in any way
yeah. Oh,
at
I
all.
agree. But isn't it funny? They talk about like let's just stay at each other apartment because like it's too much of a risk to go out because other people might see you, and then they did exactly that. Go
Yeah,
out to
I
the
think though that
movie.
he had to kind of convince her to do it. There seemed to be some process to that.
Yeah,
And then when they actually did go out on a date, one of them, I think the male character was like, "Oh, we're finally out here. We're not
yeah,
just cooped up at home all the time anymore."
yeah. I think she also came up with like a strategy of like wearing the mask, hiding their face, to go to the public, and then they forgot on that to watch a movie together.
Yeah, I don't know if this will be the most strategic relationship of all time. Seems like a lot of forgetfulness is going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and the thing is, like the next day they go into the same train stop, and there was like, based on what my more research, there I don't see anyone, any of the college riding this train, and then they immediately cop one immediately, and just like, oh, all right. I think that's gonna be the thing going in the future.
What do you mean? That people are gonna they have to keep it hidden and
Yeah,
they're gonna
sure.
keep encountering people from the office out
No,
in public?
no. So the thing would be they in at their apartment they're gonna tell each other not to like to be secret, but they still go out with each other, and they still have to miss some of the random college along the way, while they forgot all of their strategies and all that. So there's gonna be like a chance encounters happening in
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah, chance.
Chance, yeah.
As though it's not the most obvious thing in the world already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well. This show is still cute though.
All right. I'm glad you thought it was cute.
I
Uh,
put that 5 out of 10.
okay. Number 9 on my end.
All right.
So
Oh
all the
boy.
romances, the one with the four childhood friends, dead
Yep.
last for me. The one with the secret relationship at work, second to last. The one that's like kind of a classic shoujo setup, third to last.
All right. At least though, now that I'm looking at your rankings, the remaining three gonna be your top three. So
That's right.
things looking up.
Yeah. I can see that you also, I think you're first and third and maybe fourth
Yep. That's correct.
here. Yeah. So I think
This
the
this may
save
be
save the best for last, basically.
yeah, but this may be the three show that we're gonna keep it to the end. So just put it out
If
there.
indeed we end up watching 3 shows
Yeah,
all the way through, I
yeah,
have my
yeah,
doubts about whether I
yeah.
can do that spiritually.
Speak the truth. Oh come on, Cooper. We need to meet the quota for the end
Yeah,
of the year.
I guess so. All right, what is next?
The next one is Medalist.
Yes, figure skating anime.
Yeah, and I think I've done a really good job on my first impression review in the proposed anime that I didn't mention Yuri on Ice in any point of my review because I just think that
Congratulations.
I just think that this is like the path where people just immediately go into ice skating anime. Yuri on Ice. Let's compare this with Yuri on Ice. Even if
Yeah,
it doesn't have anything to do with Yuri and I, let's just mention that in the review.
yeah. I mean, that's. I think that's the way it goes for everything.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
new
Well,
new movie. I can't think of a good example off the top of my head, but if a movie comes out that has a premise that's similar to another one,
yep,
80% of the reviews for that film are going to mention that other movie.
yep.
It's, I
All
don't
right.
know, the way of the world. But I like to
Yep,
avoid that kind of thing when, if I don't have anything more to say.
yep,
Like, I won't just name drop Yuri on Ice and be like, ah, yes, this
yep,
is also a figure skating anime. You got to make a comparison or contrast them somehow if you're going to bring it up, at least in my
yep.
opinion.
I'll just put that in the conclusion. Like don't go into this show expect another you realize because this
Right.
is and this show stand for itself. Like something like that. No.
Yeah. And the thing is, there has been a far more recent figure skating anime than Yuri on Ice that you could compare
Oh,
this one to. I can't remember the name of it, but it was directed by the Planetes director, Goro Taniguchi, I think is his name. He's the Code Geass director as well.
yep.
He did a figure
No,
skating anime just like a year ago, 2 years ago.
is it like the Dan Sure thing?
It's not Dance
It's
Dance Danseur.
right. That's
Give me a
interesting
sec.
because none of the show come to my mind at the moment.
Give me a sec. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Skate Leading Stars,
Oh,
2021.
all right. Wow.
It's a show with a bunch of it's like cute boys doing cute figure skating,
I see.
and
I
it's from
see.
3 years ago, or I guess 4 years ago at this point. Now that we're in the new year,
Yeah.
um,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
So when this show came out, I was like, oh, another ice skating anime because now we have three. If
Yeah.
assuming there aren't even more. Um, and as
All
for
right.
Medalist itself,
Yeah.
forgetting about Yuri on Ice and Scaling Stars for a moment, it's
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
Yeah.
fine, it's okay.
All right. I think it's
It's a little
yeah.
there's some comedy in here. Like there's a
Uh,
lot of like overreactions and
yeah.
reaction shots and stuff
Yeah.
where a character says or does something and the other character in the scene goes eh,
Yeah.
or makes some weird face or something like that. I,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
sure how to feel about that during the whole episode because it was going on consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the same feeling as well, especially to that to that young coach. Like when he agreeing with her mom, the young kid mom, and he was like making all the statement that I gonna put her to the Olympic levels, all of that.
He
They
doesn't say Olympic level.
all right, but
He
he says
specifically
it.
avoids that because he, acknowledges the fact that the Olympics are like an impossible dream, but he says something about the national championships.
All right, all right, yep.
Um,
Let's stick with that, and then the way the show frame that is as comedy as the way that he just flop out of without considering it more than drama. And
right.
it's kind of funny as well because like we are in the middle of like a very serious conversation, and yeah, there's many point that it tend to go over dramatic as well as you mentioned, like the fact that the young kid in the verse of crying like many times as well, and then there is that comedy bit that doesn't really fit in, so like the tonal is a bit all over the place at this point.
I sort of agree, but I don't know. I feel as though there's something anchoring the show, which is some of the scenes of Inori, like feeling as though she doesn't fit in, or feeling as
Hmm.
though her mom isn't listening to her. The scene where
Yep.
she comes home, for example, to her apartment and she wants to say something to her mom about figure skating, and before she can even get the words out, her mother, without looking at her, says, "I can't help you with your homework yet. Working on dinner.
Yep.
It's going to be ready in a couple hours." The the lighting of that scene was like too exaggerated, and it didn't totally work for me. But when you combine it with some of the other stuff, like her friends at school, or perhaps just people who she's been paired with for a group project, saying she doesn't need to do anything
Hmm.
and they'll take care of it and she can just sit and watch.
Yep.
Um, some of that stuff worked for me.
Mm.
So the idea that she doesn't have anything that she really enjoys doing, and that figure skating is that one thing for her, but she's prohibited from pursuing it.
Mhm.
Um, to me, with that at the core of the series, it can kind of hold everything else down. And when I say hold everything else down, I mean can kind of support everything else, like can keep it from flying away, can keep it
Oh, right.
solid.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
that I mean, that was the part of the show I liked the most. The scenes where she was just it was clear that she wasn't happy, like the portrait of the unhappy child not being allowed to pursue her dream, the thing that brings her joy.
Yep. Well, I agree with you on that. Like, I think the episode, laid a solid foundation because we actually come to know the two main characters, Inori and this guy, Tsukasa. They, like they struggle. So Inori, like you said, she loves skating, but her mom just disapprove of that for good reason actually, because the eldest daughter has been injured because of that. And we see a bit about Tsukasa backstories as he like get into the game too late, that he feel like he missed out. He didn't really reach the full potential, and then the two of them come together, and then at the end of the episode decided that he gonna coach her. So like that very clear goal uh established in these episodes.
Hmm.
um so yes, like I said, it laid a very solid foundation for the first episode. Some of Tsukasa decision doesn't really work well to me because like the way that he tried to convince her mom, for example, is not her mom doesn't want her to do skateboarding because she she gonna get injury, she gonna not enjoying herself, and he tried to convince her by I gonna put her into the national stage, I gonna coach her, she got potential. It's just you know she actually didn't really answer any of her concerns.
Yeah. Um, I mean, the
And
way that scene was presented, he was just like very inspired by Inori's speech,
yeah,
and so he everything he said after that was kind of like in the heat of the moment. It
yeah,
wasn't very thoughtful.
plan out. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
not very strategic, as we talked about
So
when we were discussing the previous show.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So so it's kind of interesting to see how he gonna figure out the way because like for now he just like all what he's doing is just inspiring and no plan, no thought at all in the process. So well, for me in real life, I'm not gonna accept any of that of what he say, but
Yeah,
in anime
but it's
it might
anime.
work. Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, these when you're watching these shows, you're in anime world, though not in an anime world in the way that the main character of one of these later shows is in an anime world.
yeah.
It's a reference to one of the two shows we're about to talk about,
I see, I
but
see,
it's
I
not the
see.
next one, so I don't think it really works as a segue or a transition.
That's all right. You have any other notes for this show?
Yeah, just briefly, the head coach,
Yep,
the who is
the lady.
Sukasa's his partner, I guess, from the past
Yep,
when they did like couples skating
yep,
or duos or whatever the word is in the competitive figure skating scene. I like I like the fact that she's married. You can see a ring on her finger,
yep,
so that the dynamic between her and the coach can just be friendly.
yep.
There'll be jokes, I guess, and more weird reaction shots where he shoots his mouth off and she's like, "Did you really just say that?" Because that was kind of the dynamic between the two of them in this
Yep,
episode. I just think it's nice that she's already got a partner, and so it
yep,
doesn't have to be like a will they, won't they thing
yep,
between the
yep,
two
yep,
of
yep,
them.
yep.
Not that I would have anything against that necessarily, but it's nice for something different.
Mhm.
Take the romance out of it, make it about the passion of figure skating, something I'm
Yep,
very interested in.
yep, yep, yep. And actually, we haven't mentioned about the animation because I think the choreography actually worked well so far.
It's okay. I imagine
Yeah.
that. I mean, you already saw some of the 3D CG
Yep, yep, yep.
in
But
there,
it's not
and
actually stand out in a bad way. Anything.
yeah, I think it's fine.
Yep.
I just don't think this show is like. I don't know if the goal is to wow the audience with figure skating animation. I think
Mm. Yep.
I don't
Yep.
know that we're gonna get too many amazing sequences. I think the coolest cut of animation in this episode was when she was running away because he like accosted her in
Yep.
the rental area. She
Yep.
was she had sneaked back there because of the whole worm exchange
Yep.
from the start of the episode. When when he's like, "You're not supposed to be back here," and chases her, and he continues to chase her outside of the building as well. Like,
Yep.
what are you doing? That made no sense. But he chases her, and at the point when they're still in the building, she like skates down a railing, down a
Yep.
flight of
Yep. Yep.
stairs, just on her shoes. That looked really cool.
Yep.
I was
And
like, oh,
actually,
I kind of sat up during that scene, and I was like, oh, what is this?
yeah, actually really hard to do in real life. Like I saw in the Olympic levels and like the real professional also struggling to do that. So
Is
right.
there a sport where you just do it with your shoes?
No, no, with the shoes. Yeah, I think they do that with the skateboard. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's very
it's just
difficult
hard
when
to
you
do.
see
Yeah.
skateboarding at the highest level. It doesn't look anything. If you play, for example, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, those video games, and you
All
pull
right.
off
No.
all sorts of
Okay.
crazy tricks,
Yep.
real skateboarding is nothing like that because skateboarding just in and of itself in real life is so difficult. You have to have insane
Yep.
core strength and balance and stuff just to do basic tricks.
Yep.
Yeah, so
And
this girl
yep.
must be pretty amazing if she's able to skate down a railing like that
Yep.
without a
Yep.
skateboard.
Yep. 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 Well, um, all right. So what you gonna put that in your ranking? But
Well, you know it's either 1, 2, or 3. So what do you think
all
I
right,
put it?
all right. I guess it's gonna be number two.
Eh. Number 3.
All right. All right, number three for me
Did
as
you put
well.
it number 4?
Three for me.
I thought you already did. Oh no, you have 1, 2, and 4. Okay, so we probably have the same 1 and 2. That might be the first time this has ever
No, no, no,
happened.
no, no. I put
Oh, you're
flower
right.
and
You're
Ashura
right.
at
You're
number
right.
two, so I
Right.
still
Right. Right.
got one and four.
Right. My bad. Okay, so
But
on to your number 4, Sakamoto Days.
yeah, my number four. Is it gonna
Pretty
be
sure.
right? Sakamoto Days. All right, what do you feel? This is the last show that I watched out of the 10 shows because I want to save the best for last, and because it's also available in Netflix, so I just gonna like just sit down and enjoy it.
Yeah, more and more anime are on non-Crunchyroll streaming services.
Yeah,
And the only
yeah,
reason I know that is because I have to go on to Nya for more and more anime instead of just using subs, please.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And that is, I mean, I don't like that. Just because then the font is different on the subtitles.
All right,
Um,
I just don't like the fact that uh these show in Netflix they tend to like either like this which is alright they just put that out every week, or they're gonna just do the whole bunch like yeah, final season pack one, which I really hate that model.
oh, I for me the only reason I don't care for it, you know, it's just because I have to go outside of subs, please, and the font is different. That's really the
Yeah,
only. I mean, even
yeah,
if a show comes out 10 episodes at once, 12 episodes at once, whatever, you can just watch them one per week,
yeah. Yeah, well,
unless you
that's
are like on Reddit discussing them with people, and
yeah,
that throws off your groove in that respect. But for this one, it does release weekly. I think I heard you say.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It does quickly. So
So there's nothing to hold it back except for itself.
yeah,
And it's
yeah. Correct.
god awful shadow textures.
What do you mean by that?
Did you notice while watching this that every time there was a scene where part of a character's body was in shadowed, what was like in the shadows, or just darker than another part because the light wasn't
Yeah.
touching it, there were like weird diagonal streaks across those parts of their
All right.
body.
I didn't
It's
really
like a digital
notice that at
texture
all. All
applied
right.
to nearly every shot in the entire episode. It was so gross.
Huh. All right. I didn't really uh yeah, I didn't really notice that at all. So it's my work for me.
Hmm.
But that's all right. How you say about the premise? About this guy who is the hitman and then he retire, he get fat, he eat a lot of noodles
Oh,
and
not
people
just noodles, cup ramen.
oh
You
oh
got
yeah,
because the
it's a
product
good one.
placement is all over this thing. You got to say the brand right.
Yeah, and then Hitman keep coming for him to take his life. I think part of the appeal that I got in this show is part of the appeal that I got in Spy Family.
Oh,
Like
without a
it.
doubt. Right down to
Yeah,
one of the characters being psychic and being able to read thoughts.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That is well as well. Like it didn't really make sense. that
Well,
he's an
you know why
assassin
one of the
and a
characters
psychic.
can read thoughts in the show. It's because
He doesn't
whoever the
talk.
editor is for this manga, not the author necessarily, but the editor said,
Yep.
"We need this to be like Spy Family so we can have a hit. So make one of the characters psychic." Like
All
that,
right.
like Anya from Spy Family. Cuz editors do that sort of stuff, and like music producers do it too. Make your song sound like such and such
This
another
one.
song that's been on the charts
Yeah.
recently. It's all just profit seeking.
Oh, you make me feel bad for liking it then.
Oh, that's just one little part of the show, him being a
Yeah.
psychic. That's
Yeah.
fine. I
Yeah.
mean, like for example, my dad was in a band
Yeah.
and he was the vocalist. He was the leader of the band that he was in, and
Yeah.
they had a record deal, an extensive one for decades,
Yep.
and he would have conversations with executives on a regular basis, and they would say, for this next one, we want you to pursue such and such a sound because it's selling well right now. That it has to go on in anime too,
Yep.
television, film,
Ha.
everything.
Yeah. All right. Uh, yeah. So this is gonna be like the show that mix between like kind of action and slap life. So we have like uh, this guy enjoying the hitman, the ex hitman enjoying now just helping out. I actually love these scenes where he was shadowed by this psychic guy, and all he does all day he just like helping out, cut the trees,
Right.
what other things. It's just like all be very mundane things, and
I can't.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
can't remember when you said cut the tree, like cut the excess branches down. I remember that, but it was a montage. There were maybe three
yeah,
scenes in it. And what were some of the other ones? I don't recall
maybe maybe
now.
maybe fight a cat or something. I don't really recall. I just find the whole thing funny though.
Yeah, it's. I mean, because it starts with the flashback to his Hitman days,
Yeah,
and I think that was probably the right choice. Start with that, and then you reveal. Oh, yes, now he's. I even like the way that it transitioned from the assassin flashback to the present day because you see
yep,
him as his like very cool assassin self with his glasses and his one little strand of hair that kind of hangs down on the side of his face. Go
yep.
into a convenience store and meet this beautiful girl, and of course the lenses of his glasses break, and that is the transition point to be like, now he's got a wife, got a kid, got a convenience store, and he's fat.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's just structured well in general.
yeah, yeah. I
Um,
agree.
it's a fun premise. It's a fun like shonen premise that has carries the promise of action with it
Yeah,
because of his past and his present since criminals are coming after him.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, and the action I think is of what we see in the beginning and at the end as well is they don't aim for realistic at all, but they aim for maybe bombastic. Like the way that this psychic guy Shin, he avoid all these all the bullets into him. Is one thing, but this hitman Sakamoto, he actually dodged the bullet by, I think, using chopstick.
Yeah, he catches that. That's a pretty fun scene.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no realism whatsoever. I think the action works because it's exaggerated, and also because it's creative. For
yeah,
example,
yeah, yeah,
the duel between him and Shin in the convenience store, where he's using like cough drops that he's shooting with a rubber band,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
he's throwing like custard filled bread at him in order to make like a mess to obscure his vision and stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And yep, and I also really like the fact that Sakamoto, he doesn't really talk much, so we actually kind of uh know what he thought through to Shin and his
Yeah,
psychic things. But yeah, I like the fact that he doesn't really talk that much. He does talk a little, but
yeah, it
he
kind of
just keep it to
justifies
himself.
Shin being psychic.
Yep.
It gives a reason for him to have that superpower, at least as far as as
Yep.
far as the presentation of the show goes. You probably want to know what the main character thinks, and now this guy has the ability to translate it for us essentially.
Yep. 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 So
We even see I think the first time he displays that ability is when I think a robber comes in, right? A burglar comes in.
no, it's not. It's not a robber.
Oh,
It's a yeah.
it's like a yakuza guy or just some
Yeah.
jerk.
Just a bully.
Yeah, the kid
Yeah.
spills ink on his pants.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Right. And so he sees Sakamoto's thoughts, like how he would kill him most efficiently or most quickly.
Yeah. And for the neck, not and for the eyes, and for the neck.
Right. That would be an ace. if
yeah,
he hit his carotid artery with the pen,
yeah, yeah,
which I
yeah,
think is what he sees in Sakamoto's mind.
yeah.
Um,
Yep. So far, I think it doesn't really break any crowd in terms of story, but it's fun from start to finish. Like I really enjoy all the big characters, and even though that I know that like it kind of similar to Spy Family, I really hope that it just like a step up as well because if it keep on like the semi thing feeling, we're gonna get tired very quickly.
well, I mean, more characters will be introduced who will probably
Yep,
have
yep,
different combat styles, and
that for sure.
um, and if Sakamoto was such a legendary assassin, then he must have more enemies than just the one group that got completely wiped out in this episode during the like the warehouse fight or wherever it was that they were.
Yep, 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 yep,
So they'll be the if he's really such a legend, then the show can just dream up new antagonists whenever it wants.
yep, yeah. That's true. All right. So I reckon you put it first because I put it fourth.
For me, it was number two.
Oh, you tried it is number two. All right. I just kidding. For me, it's number one out of 10.
Okay.
Wow. I thought that you have a reservation about Shinju. So let's hear about that. Let's go
Well, I
with
mean,
Shinju.
I think it's the only really good looking show out of this whole group of 10.
I agree. Well,
Um, and
is there a
I
but?
don't know.
Because
Honestly, that might be it.
all right, there is a but for me. I just feel that why they go that route like like the real life see actually pretty interesting. See like the kind of up and coming animator directors. So it talk about something about the industry, and we see like kind of behind the scenes of what she does as well. So like the power of animation and all that, and then it's get into the section where she like she's snobbery. She just like try to give every others hard time. She choke on her food, which is I reckon it poisonous, and then she get transported into one of the anime that she was inspired, and why they do that I'm not sure.
I mean,
Is that
that's the story. That would be like asking why did the Joker fall into a vat of acid in Batman? I mean,
yeah,
that's just
all
what
right,
happened, and that's how he went nuts.
all
That's
right.
who he is. I mean, this the plan all along for Zenshuu was for her to go into another
and then she
world.
have and then she have this superpower of rowing
Right.
to to oh my god, I don't even know what her superpower is, but it
She can
apparently
like
it's
change
overpower.
reality with her skills as an animator. And of course, over the course of the series, it's going to teach her the joy of animation. That it's not just a job. It's like it's her passion, you know. And then she'll wake back up and go back to her job
Get back to
as
work.
yeah.
Yeah,
She'll go back to work doing her job as an animator.
yeah, but
But
not
now
taking
she'll have all these
everything by
memories
herself.
from this other world or this dream or whatever,
Yeah,
um, where she drew these amazing uh, like creatures and stuff, and now she'll make people's dreams come true in the real world with her animation.
yeah. All right. I love the fact that this show is like a celebration of like animation because we see that much her superpower is, and that who she was before she gets transported into the world. It actually become a bit familiar because like why if she have to transport into another world, why not like some other place that why this fantasy set up, like why all these uh F and heroes and all these fantasy that we know before. So it's kind of a letdown for me. in the sense. The animation still very good though.
I mean, I'm not sure what where the disappointment is coming from. Of course,
Yeah,
you
all right.
feel about it the way you feel about it, but she this the world that she's been transported into is one that inspired her when she was a
Yeah,
kid. I think that's the point. Is that now that she's in this world that once inspired her, she's going to be able to discover that inspiration again
all right.
because she's lost her, she's lost her love for animation. Even
Yeah,
though the movie that she was set to direct, like it's called Hatsukoi First Love or something like that, it was only going to be her second project as a director, but already she was like overburdened with work and was just taking too much responsibility on herself because she wasn't happy with the job other people were doing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Now she's back in the world of a work where she first experienced it as a child and she didn't have any responsibility. She was just able to engross herself fully. I think that's the
yeah.
point. Now that she's
Alrighty.
there again, maybe she can rediscover
Yeah.
that feeling.
All right. Yeah.
I did think
And
that it was pretty fun to see posters on the wall before we, got transported into the world of A Tale of Perishing. There were some
yeah,
posters on the wall at her anime studio that were
yeah,
parodies. For example,
yeah.
there was one that said "Serval Cat Mask," which was an obvious play on Tiger Mask, and
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was
yeah,
a mecha poster that said "Ikudas," which is Ideon, one of Yoshiyuki
all right.
Tomino's mecha series.
Yeah.
Also,
Mm,
the unicorn character Unio in this
yeah.
show is a clear reference to the Tezuka
Unico.
character. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I think like all these characters we kind of like seen them the character before in other shows. They like look prefab is basically like your typical hero style, but like he also have like a bit of a mean streak as well to our main characters,
Kind
and
of.
then yeah,
I mean,
and then yeah,
Unio is even more
yeah,
mean
yeah,
to
yeah,
her, I guess. Keeps calling her a gremlin, and although I did kind of like the recurring gag where people are surprised that she's human.
yeah, because she have like her hair cover her face, which is actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it does make her seem kind of like a gremlin, and she acts kind of like a gremlin. She doesn't have the sweetest personality, let's say.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But she does
But
have a superpower that's going to help save the world from the void or whatever.
yeah, but the funny thing is now that because this is like one of her favorite series when she was like her child favorite or something, and then she learned that the directors of that show just passed away, and there is like a scene where she like really depressed about that, so she actually at the end of the episode she changed the storyline of the story. So is it does it mean that the story that she participate now gonna change forever, and she gonna just stay there until like the next point over, or yeah, what's gonna happen to her characters?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it I mean, I remember the scene where she sees on her phone news that the director of A Tale of Perishing has passed away.
yeah.
I don't know if that news will have any impact on her decisions in this other world.
Hmm.
Did you
Yeah.
was there something that you watched in here that gave you that impression? Is that what you mean?
uh I just feel that yeah, she gonna change the storyline, so I'm just not sure uh what gonna come next. Is that like a new alternative reality or something?
I don't know. I mean, now
Yeah.
that she's here, this is her life, at least for the time being.
Hmm.
So if she has to change stuff, she has to change stuff. I mean, she already did. She summoned
Yeah.
something that looked reminiscent of the God Warrior from Nausicaa. I think that was probably the reference that the show was making when she, takes her magical peg bar that's whispering to her in her mind out of her pocket and like summons her animation cubicle and draws a cut of, or multiple cuts, I guess, of a gigantic monster that fires like a laser weapon,
Hmm.
kind of like that scene in Nausicaa,
Yeah.
where the God Warrior wipes out a whole bunch of the advancing enemies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
It's cool the way that those scenes look because whatever she draws, at least based on what we've seen in this first episode, whatever she draws is going to kind of have that rough, sketchy look of
Mhm.
Genga. Just the line art basically, and some very light shading, I guess, that indicates where
Yeah.
shadows are supposed to be placed and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That she doesn't draw something that then looks exactly like the world that she inhabits. It doesn't blend in. It looks different, and I kind of like that.
Yeah. 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 I like that
And
as well.
the transformation scene as well, I guess you would call it that. The only way that she transforms is that her hair gets blown back. But there's a quote unquote transformation scene, kind of magical girl inspired, I guess, where it's like there's a scene where paper kind of transforms. It takes on this odd three-dimensional shape, and there's a whole bunch of weird stuff going on the sides of the frame.
Hmm.
This is when she takes out her peg bar and whatever. It's just very. It was like sensory overload, basically. That
Yeah.
scene. I wasn't sure how to process all of it exactly. I imagine that it'll play every episode. It's similar to the way Maho Shoujo repeats its transformation sequence for
Yeah.
the magical girl. We'll probably get to see that scene over and over. I look forward to discovering details about it.
It kind of makes sense that they're gonna do that because first, it's look cool in animation. Second, it's a chance that we get to see her face, and third, it's like the literal, like superpower transformation. So yep, it kind of makes sense. That's what gonna be happen in the future, and like I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I
we
I
already know
don't
the
think I have.
rankings.
Yep. So you put it first, and I put it fourth
Yep.
out of 10.
So the three shows that have let's say, the highest average ranking are the last three:
Yep. Yep.
Medalist, Sakamoto Days, and Zenshuu.
Yep.
And I got to be honest, the only show that I care to watch any more of at all is Zenshuu. Partly because it's anime original, partly because uh,
The
it's
animation.
it's the best looking one of the bunch.
Yep.
Um, Partly because it's an isekai series that might not be terrible.
All right. The
That's a
original isekai.
Yeah,
Let's say
that's about
something.
it.
Yep. I actually have really high hope for Flower and Ashura because I think the premise is actually pretty solid to me.
I hope it's good. I
Yeah.
mean, parts of it I think are interesting.
All right.
Mostly like
Uh,
the aforementioned, like the metaphors, the visual metaphors during the
yeah.
recitation scenes, like the vines and whatever else.
Yeah. All right. One quick question for you before we head off. But this is the question that I know that you haven't prepared before, so feel free just to say, you know, whatever. But is there any show that you cover in the first episode period that not in our 10 that you would like to recommend or leave a better impact to you?
Not that I can recall.
All right.
I haven't seen too many outside of these 10, and the ones I did, I don't, if I mean if I saw any others that I thought at the time were pretty good, they did not leave a lasting impact.
Yeah.
This really
Uh,
is, I think, a barren season. You know,
yeah.
I know that I've said that in the past, which you frequently mention,
Yeah, yeah,
but something feels different
yeah.
to me right now.
All right.
I don't think
I
I've
do have.
ever I don't think I've ever had like a number two, my number two ranking show. I'm like, whatever, don't
All right.
don't care.
Hmm. Very
What about
interesting.
you?
But
You watch
yeah, but
anything outside of these 10 shows that you thought was worth
yeah,
recommending?
I would say one. Okisura. The full name is Okinawa de Suki ni Nata Koga Hogen Sukite Sura Shukiru. So it is about, like, thank you,
Well
thank
done.
you. It's about this guy who come to Okinawa, which is like the south, the south place in Japan,
Right.
and get exposed to the dialect. So that it's a local dialect, and we get to hear a lot of like people characters saying something like a gibberish language, but it's actually real. And we
Okay.
kind of learn about the like the social the culture about that place as well. Some of the very unique food and thing that they have over there. So it's the first episode is kind of like very entertaining and uh, educational as well. And I really would like to watch more. It's like these kind of like slice of life anime that I tend to enjoy.
I am familiar with the show, like its title, and I
Yep.
remember seeing the poster. It's like I don't even remember whether the poster had a male character on it. Typically, if they're in it, not a lot of attention is drawn to them. I just remember the
Yep.
two tan girls
Yep.
because they're from Okinawa, where the sun is always shining.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
I don't know, it's like a dialogue-based rom-com. When I saw it, I was kind of reminded of Alia, Adia always speaks in Russian or whatever that one from
Oh.
last year
Yep. Yep.
was.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
just kind of wrote it off.
Yep. Anya hides her feeling in Russian.
Yeah, that thing. Maybe maybe Okitsura could be good.
Yep.
I'm not opposed. Like the idea that there's a bunch of anime out there that are just about kind of a normal guy, and then there's a bunch of female characters around him. Many of those don't turn out well, but I'm not opposed to them like on principle. I'll
Right.
try them. Usually I
Yep.
won't like them. Usually I won't get past episode one, but I'll try them. So
Okay.
maybe I'll try Okitsura like before the year is through.
Yeah. Literally, this is about like a guy who have a crush on one of these girls, the tan a skin girl, and that other girl have a crush on him. So it's like a three-way without he ever really realized about that. So it's like the usual stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, uh it's the accent, so to speak. Work the best for me because I really curious about culture, different culture, and all that.
Okay. So we have an 11th show in the mix.
Yeah, at least for me, yes. All right.
Well, it's going to be a long time till the 2025 Anime of the Year episode. We still
Yep.
don't even have the 2024 one up on the channel, though by the time you listen to this, hopefully it will have appeared.
Yeah.
Perhaps some of these series, perhaps Okitsura or one of these other shows, will end up on that prestigious list of 10.
Yeah. I
But
have my hope of.
that's for
Yep.
365 days from now. That's
Yep.
an eternity away.
Yep. I have my hope up for shows like Honey Lemon Soda or Anyway I Fall in Love with You to step up to
Yeah.
become the top 10 anime of 2025. Who knows?
Or perhaps they'll
Maybe.
get an honorable mention as the worst.
Yeah. Or maybe like what happened in the first episode that we seen it's just a dream, and the real episode start in the episode two.
Maybe. Maybe they're in an isekai world
Yep.
that just
Yep. Yep.
resembles a reverse harem show or just resembles a shoujo series. and
Yep.
then they'll wake up, and reality will be
Or
far less
yeah.
predictable.
Or maybe we just wish for the main character in Zenshuu just go to just get transported into this show to to change the whole things.
Well, if she got transported to the world of Douse Koishite Shimaunda, I
Yep.
would wish for her to draw, let's see, a mech from Gundam that would stomp on the house where all five of the main characters were celebrating that birthday party and just reduce it to rubble. And Hamburger, War in the Pocket
That
reference.
that's so mean, but okay.
That would be my wish.
Kill them off.
Yeah.
Oh, hamburger.
All right. That's all I got.
Yep. All right. Enjoy your hamburgers, guys.
Yes. Hamburgers and fries. Mm. All right.
Yep.
Well, we'll be back. There's going to be another Anne of Green Gables podcast uploaded soon enough,
Yep.
and might be reviewing some leftover anime movies from 2024 in the near future as well.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
All right. See you then, guys.